Oh no. All right. Definitely gonna have to get an intro. This dead space kills me. Hey, okay, there we are. Okay. Sorry I'm a little late. Hey, Katerina. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Kate. Hey, Dee. Hey, Michael from Seattle. Just notified. Awesome, Lori. Awesome. Hey, Joanne, Samantha, Debbie. How's everybody Sunday? Sanko, are you a psychiatrist? No, I'm not a psychiatrist. But you know what? I have to tell you, I have a lot of patients. Oh my God. I have a lot of clients that are actually. So that's funny that you mentioned that. Hey, Miss Ange. Hey, Joanne. No, I don't have a cold. I was just taking a hot shower. I was a little late, so I was kind of rushing it. So, but I should clear up in a moment. Uh, Therapist? No, I'm not a therapist either. Everything that I talk about is based on readings. Everything I talk about is based on information that's come through. So if you do enough readings and enough, interaction with people, especially strangers, you get a lot of information. You get a lot of stuff that comes through that you can actually go like, "Oh, okay, if this happens, then that happens, and we got to go down that path." So it's how information kind of lays out. So you feel like a therapist sometimes when you're doing a reading, but you're not. You're just translating information and giving it. I had readings all day today, actually. Well, not all day. I started at 11 a.m. I was done by 4, so it's like 5 hours worth of readings. But they were back to back, and good readings today. Good people. You know, it's nice to it's nice to see things happen that they needed to happen in the reading. When you do a reading, you don't always get what they want. It's like you don't always get the information they need, or I should say, we get what they need. We don't always get what they want, right? Like the song. But today was kind of cool. Today, things came through in a certain way, which was nice. I'm gonna tell you one thing that happened. It was not today though. It was a couple days ago. I was reading a woman and her dad came through and he was talking about the family. So he was giving me like each person in the family, then talking a little bit about each one. And then he brought up her husband. I don't know if he gave me the name. I can't remember what it was that he gave me around. I think it was the name first. She said, "Yeah, that's my husband." And then I said something about an Adam's apple. And he's like, "He's got a pronounced Adam's apple?" She's like, "Yeah, kinda does." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I go, "And who's into the music?" And she's like, "Oh, that's my husband." He goes, "He's into the music. He's a musician." I said, "Oh, great." Then we talked about a few other things, and then her dad showed me that somebody raised, like, a wild animal, like a raccoon. And I was telling her, like, "This is a little off subject." I go, "But your dad wants me to talk about the person that, like, raised a raccoon or squirrel, like a wild animal." It wasn't like a domesticated animal, it was, like, wild. And she's like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't make any sense." And just to show you how things work, right? I joked around. I said, "Well, maybe it's a squirrel or maybe it's you try to come up with other things that are technically wild animals that might have been raised by people." And then I stopped. I said, "No, this is definitely a raccoon." I said, "Or, as my daughter would put it, a trash panda." And as soon as I said trash panda, she stopped in her tracks and she goes, "Oh my God." She goes, I go, "What?" She goes, "That was the name of my husband's band. It was Helen and the Trash Pandas." That was a band he had when he was younger. So it was kind of cool. And the reason why it was really cool is her dad was talking about her husband and then brought up the band around him. So that was cool. A cool moment. So it's always like you never know why you're saying it. You don't know what it is, but if you're doing the work for the right reasons, you got to trust what you're getting. You got to just say it. And I'm going like, this is a little off topic. This might have nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm supposed to talk about a raccoon. Meanwhile, he was giving me info around the band. Mm. Let's see. Uh, but the theme today was kind of, I'm going to say things were a little bit emotional today. So if anybody's feeling a little bit emotional today, like a lot of feelings and emotions, not necessarily knowing what you're feeling, like hard to process because you're not really knowing why you're feeling a certain way. It's just, well, today's no different than yesterday. Why am I feeling this way? I want you to know that's kind of a theme I'm feeling today. Okay. It's good to see you too, Jay Gamble. This guy. Oh, we got to get rid of that. Okay. Some guy just I know it was a guy just wrote emotions gay. Uh, Neanderthals. Last 2 days, yeah, eclectic. Yeah, it's a little weird. The energy's a little off. I'm not saying off. It's almost like forcing us to have to feel things we don't want to feel. Let's put it that way. It's like feeling things we would rather put away or not deal with. And then there's moments when we have to deal with stuff and we kind of fight it. So if you're feeling that at all the last day or the last day or two, that's it makes perfect sense to me. Let's put it that way. Uh, okay, we have people agreeing with that, so that's good. Wildfire, I booked. Oh, cool. Oh no, somebody's telling Wildfire. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry about that. Speaking of booking, I think 2 spots left in my April Zoom group. So if anybody's interested in that, again, the Zoom group would be a Mediumship Zoom group. It's a 3-hour Zoom group from 8 to 11. I think it's on a Thursday night. It's on April 30th, so a little ways off. But I think I had 2 seats left before I went live tonight. So if you're interested in that, go check out my Stand Store link in my bio, and you can go book for that too. My privates are there as well. So if you go on my Stand Store link, I have privates there. I have the Zoom group. I also have live events coming up in September. If you want to be a part of that, you can go check those out too. Okay, all the information's there. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a few trolls on here tonight. I'm blocking them as I go, so don't worry about it. Or are we not allowed to ask? I don't. Maria, would you ask? Or are we not allowed to ask? I'm not trolling. Do you love? No, 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 Jada, that's fine. I'm talking about people that are being, like, obnoxious and rude. Exactly, Vivi. Vivi wrote, "How are they even finding you? Just move on. Just move, man." I totally agree with you. Um, okay, Maria, no, you're not allowed to ask that. So Maria asked, "I asked if me and my ex, Philip, will be a couple again." Um, that's not something I really entertain, to be honest. I just don't think you need a medium for that, you know? Things change. First of all, when I do a psychic reading for anybody, I always tell them, "Don't be afraid of the information. Don't be worried about what's gonna come through. Know that it's information for you. It's insights. A psychic reading should be insights, not you should do this or you should do that. Technically, we're not supposed to tell you what to do in any case. We're just here to give you information that can hopefully bring you to where you need to go. So any psychic that's telling you what to do or what not to do around something is that's not ethical, number one. Number two, it's not their place. You don't really get the credit for making the choices if somebody else is telling you what to do in it. It's like going to school, say you're in college, and you have to take an exam. And right before the exam, somebody gives you all the answers. You can still take that exam and you might get 100 on it, but you're not getting any credit for that exam. So your guides want to make sure that whatever information you get is just enough to help you to make the right choice for yourself. You could choose to not make the right choice, but if you make the right one, you get all the credit, nobody else. Okay. So when it comes to, hey, is somebody gonna, be around me or are we gonna get back together again? You have to decide how that works for you. Is that a good thing for you? Or is it not a good thing for you? And there should be an immediate answer there. Not about what you want, but is it a good thing for you? Like when you look down the line, does that look positive? Does that look good? Or is that just what I want? I would like it to be that because if it's that, then I can make it this and then I can make it look like that. And then hopefully it'll turn out this way. And it's like hope, 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 right? As opposed to where are we right now? What does it look like to me? It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship. It doesn't matter if it's a friend. It doesn't matter if it's a coworker. You should be able to kind of get an idea of where you're headed around that connection. You don't need a psychic for that. Happy spring, Becca. Mm. Oh, I apparently left the door open to my boiler room. So that's loud as hell. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna shut it off. All right, that's professional, right? Hold on a second. I forgot to flush the toilet. Uh, thank you. Okay, cool. Uh, okay, Tracy Rube, how do you stay positive when the energy's emotional for a day? Just by, you know what, by honoring it. That's really the best thing you could do is honor that energy. Just be like, you know what, today sucks. How many times have we gotten up in the morning, right? You just know before the day starts, you're like, this is gonna be a shitty day. I just know it's gonna be a shitty day. You have to be okay with that. Like, if you want, take credit for calling it later. Like, you know what? I knew it was gonna be shitty today, and like take the credit for it. It's all yours. But don't worry about it. Let it be what it is. Sometimes we try to change things too much. And I will tell people all the time, sometimes on an energetic level or intuitively, it's not your energy. It's not you that's feeling that. It's something around you that's making you feel that way. Like I was just talking to somebody before and their energy was off. They were feeling a certain way, but it had nothing to do with them. It had something to do with me, something that I was dealing with or something that I had to deal with. And it was like throwing them off a little bit. So it was like starting to see how the energy works, you know? Still learning at my age, you know, and how things happen. And I'm going to tell you that you might get up in the morning and feel like, I don't know why, but I'm in a bad mood today and I just nothing's happened yet. What I would tell you to do is pay attention to that. Pay attention to that feeling and see what happens during the day because you might get that phone call from somebody that you don't want to hear from, you know, that says something not nice to you or puts you in a bad mood and you can go like, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was waiting for. Something like this to come up, you know? Sometimes we get a heads up around things and we intuitively get that feeling. Now, if something does put you in a bad mood, obviously we know why you're in a bad mood. But if you're ever feeling like, I don't know what my deal is, like I'm just off today or something's not feeling right, just wait to see what happens. Like wait to see what happens around you. A lot of times you'll get like a, I would consider that to be like a warning or a way of like tipping you off to something coming your way that you're not going to be happy about. You've had that happen before, Letty your life, Letty your life. Good prep for Monday. Yep. You got it, Tracy. Listen, we've all had those days where we get up in the morning, we get up and we're like ready to get rock and roll, right? And then we get up on other days and we're just like, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I just want to stay here. Let's see. Hi, Karen. Okay, Jane Gamble. In apartments, can we pick up our neighbor's energy? Can we pick up our neighbor's energy? Technically, you could. Yeah, technically you could. Because if you think about it, if you're in a house with somebody and they're in a different room, you could pick up on their energy. So why wouldn't you be able to pick up on the energy of a neighbor? Absolutely. You know, not only that, let's use it. Let's kind of come up with an example. Are you ever sitting somewhere, like say in a restaurant, and you're talking with somebody or two other people, and somebody walks into the restaurant from like way down the other end, and they kind of recognize the people you're sitting with, right? And they kind of wave like, "Hey," and you get this immediate feeling like, "Ooh, I don't like that person." It's like, I don't like the way they feel. I don't like you just get that feeling like, I don't know if I like this. And then they walk over to the table, they start talking. They turn out to be quite nice, actually. The people that they're talking to that are your friends are laughing and they're like, hey, have a seat, right? That person sits down with you, eating lunch together, whatever. Everybody starts exchanging phone numbers again, like, you know, like, hey, we should get together. You start hanging out with that person with your friends for a while. You might even become friends with that person separately from your friends later on. But then, but then whether it's 4 months down the road, 6 months, 8 months down the road, that person does something. They do or say something to you that makes you go, "I knew I should have listened to myself the first time." That's the part I'm talking about. It's that energy, like knowing what to feel and trust that intuition. Most people don't do that. You have to trust your intuition when it comes through. Go with the first impression, the first feeling. It's usually very accurate. I had a, contractor I was working with for a while who, I'm gonna get a little, like I'm gonna curse a little, okay? But we're in YouTube, so it doesn't really matter. But, there's a contract I was working with, and he was in a bad spot financially, and he kept asking for, like, kinda like a little bit of money ahead of time. He was doing the job for me, and it's like 4 installments, and we'd be ahead of, like, the 2nd installment. He'd be like, "Hey, you think I can get a few bucks?" I'm like, "No, you didn't finish up." He's like, "I really need the money," and I said, "You're gonna screw me." And he goes, "What?" I go, You're gonna screw me at some point." And he said, "No, no, no, I would never do that." And I said, "No, no, no. Let's be clear about something. You're not gonna wanna do it. You're not intending to do it. I'm telling you, you are." And he didn't understand that. He doesn't know what I do outside of construction, so but I let him know, like, this is gonna happen. Sure enough, before the job was done, the project was over, he not only screwed me, he screwed his own brother-in-law, out of money in the project. He was taking cash from me and not telling his brother-in-law, who was in partnership with him. So it was kind of a real screw up, and, you know, what the fuck, right? I told him, I said, "I knew you were gonna do it." Um Yes, it is lovely, Erin. Not having to filter myself here, yes. I can say whatever the I want. Not that I need to curse. I'm just saying. Let's see. Mhm, mhm. Good to see you too, Dexter. Yeah, Becca, right. I used to own a business, been there. You know better, but help anyway. Yeah, you try to do what you can. When somebody's going through a tough time, you kind of understand. You say, you know what? If that was me, I would, but that's the problem. You think everybody's like you. That's the problem. And you're like, "Well, I wouldn't have done that. I would have made sure I paid that person back. I would have made sure I got them back that money. I would have finished the project or the job?" Now, here's the cool part. His brother-in-law is an honorable man. His brother-in-law is gonna finish. He's out $7,000 because of his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law took the money and that was it. But he's gonna honor his job. He's gonna get it done. Because he said to him, it's more about the connection and having, like, a relationship down the road in the field. He's like, "I don't wanna have that kid, have that happen." So I was like, honorable man. Now what he doesn't know, which I will tell you, is I'm probably gonna pay him the extra half of that. Like, I'm only gonna make him absorb half of that. I don't owe it to him, but I feel like if somebody's honorable and doing the right thing by me, then I'm gonna do my best to do right by them. So, yeah, ethics is nice to see, Dexter. Not a lot of that going around lately. All right. So, what's going on? Da, 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 da. I'm gonna start putting up a bunch of posts on here too, by the way. So I haven't put up a post in on YouTube in a little while, but I have a whole bunch ready to go. So I'm gonna be like putting on one a day. Uh, Let's see. Good evening, 01 American. Yes, I'll be doing a reading on here, Debbie. Absolutely. W- Um, yes, I'll be reading Dexter. I'm trying to answer a question that helps everybody. Hold on. Yes, Jay Gamble, I am aware of karma, you're right. That's because you are aware of karma, do good to others, and it comes back to you. Yes, I was gonna actually have T-shirts made up when I was a little younger. I used to have a saying, well, yeah, I was younger, actually. So I had a saying that, "I don't need luck, I have karma on my side," and that's something that I always lived by. Hey, Dalen. Oh, let's see. What the heck is this? Add a QA sticker. No, we don't want that. Go away. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm going to read this out loud. Craig, do you go through a mental checklist when receiving communication with spirit? For example, do you ask for an important date, then receive a number, or is it on spirit to open up the conversation? Oh man, this is a great question, Craig. A great question. It works both ways. Um, First, they have to, like, basically slap me in the face for it to let me know that they're around. So letting me know, like, "Hey," and then they'll start showing me stuff randomly. I won't know what it is. They'll just start showing me things, and I'll start talking about it. Then I start to create, like, a pattern around things, and then I start asking questions. So, what I like to do in my readings is connect information. Like, today was happening a lot, which I was really happy about. It doesn't always happen that way. I don't want you to think it's like, "Oh, it's definitely gonna happen." It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes it's all over the place. You're trying to, like, nail down where things are coming from. But today, things all led into each other. Things all, like, clicked together, so it was kinda cool, and what I mean by that is, like, they'll show me, I'm gonna make this up because I don't wanna talk about somebody's reading, but it's like, all the information that came through was pertaining to the person they talked about. So they gave me a name, and the lady I was reading said, "Well, that's my cousin." Almost like that attitude, you know? It's like, "Well, that's my cousin, like, who gives a shit?" It's like, "Okay." But I always tell everybody, just put the name where you feel it goes. I'm not gonna take that name and run with it. I'm gonna ask whoever's coming through to give me more around that name, and they did. So they talked about the cousin, then they talked about somebody being like a police officer, and she's like, "Well, my cousin's the police officer." "Okay, and where are the 2 kids around him?" "Well, he's got 2 kids." It was like things that landed all around that cousin. So I know that that was, I guess it was her dad or her mom who was coming through at the time, I don't know, but it's their way of letting us know, like, "Hey, I know this information, let my daughter know." That's all. It's a way of saying hello. So it was kinda cool. "What accent, D? Back off. What's with the Boston? I'm not fr" Oh, that just sounded like Boston, didn't it? I am not from Boston. I am gonna now back off. I am going to now go back to my, normal voice. You're welcome, Craig. Okay, so Mama Mando, let me make it more clear. If there was a wreck and someone passes, but there were others involved and shouldn't have made it but did, can that person intervene, like, change the scenario? They can't intervene, no. Nope. When we talk about divine, interference, it just means that it was supposed to happen that way. So, I if somebody's supposed to pass, they'll pass. If they're not supposed to pass, they won't. They can't interfere with certain people living or not living. I mean, it's going to happen the way it's supposed to. I wish I could say things differently, but my guides have made it very, very clear to me that things happen for a reason, and, we don't always have to like the outcome. We just have to understand it. And I've learned to accept the fact that I understand that things work out the way they do for a reason. Hey, Sheena, you welcome, Mama. Beyond spirit, can reincarnated souls come through in readings? Uh, no, because technically they're reincarnated, right? So, and if that's the case, I don't think reincarnation happens that fast, too. So reincarnation takes a lot of years. I would say I feel like based on information that's come through, it's like 200, 250 years before somebody's reincarnated in this world, because I don't think this is the only place we go, but in this world, it's like 200, 250 years, because based on people doing, like, life regressions, that's usually they go back, that's how far back they go. It's like their first memory is back about 250 years, and then they can go back all the way to, like, Egyptian times or whatever. It could be 3,000 years, but it's the closest is usually about, like, 200, 250 years on average. But if somebody's passed, right, and it's a family member for you, you're not gonna know who passed 250 years ago, so you wouldn't even know if they were reincarnated. It doesn't really matter, right? Uh, I like that one, Darth. I feel like I have to take a hit of something to read that out loud. If time is an illusion, all time happens simultaneously. Well, past, present, and future are all happening at the same time. Yes, time only exists here in this world. Time does not exist on the other side. They have access to all of it. I call the book of everything. right? They can go back to the past, they can go to the future, they can go to present, they can go anywhere they want to. We're stuck in the linear way of looking at things, which means we only move forward. They can visit all other times. So if somebody was like in a, a coma before they pass and you were talking to them, were they hearing you in the moment? I don't think they were, but they have the option of going back to that moment and reliving it so that can hear it. So they have access to all of it. Oh, sorry, I almost blocked somebody by accident. Oh, okay. Sorry, Darth. Dexter, I think my dog reincarnated from 15 years ago. I'm a true believer that dogs kind of help us to find our new dog. So I feel like when we've had a pet that's passed, that energy on the other side will help us to find the one that best fits us. So I always want to give credit to past pets for helping us to find the new ones, and they always give us like the ones that are going to be the closest connected to us. So you'll say like, "Oh my God, this one's just like my last one," or I swear my other dog's in here somewhere." I don't personally feel that that energy's in there, but I do believe that they guide us to the ones we're supposed to have, the ones closest to that, so that we can be in the right space for it. Mm. I had a lot of pets come through today. Yes, Jennifer. Has anyone ever showed up to you that didn't believe in mediums while living? All the time, all the time, all the time. A lot of times they're the first ones in, and people are like, the reading will be over. I do get a lot of people coming through. I don't get one person. I get like a lot of people, and sometimes I spend more time with one than the other. Sometimes it's just a quick hello, a couple factual things, and they're out, and somebody else comes in. But when the reading's done, I hear this so many times. I'm like, "Oh, I'm so happy these people came through. I'm really shocked that my dad showed up." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "He just didn't believe in any of this, but he's like, he seemed to do all the talking." And I always laugh and I'm like, I feel like it's part of their karma on the other side. Like, you know what? You didn't believe in any of this shit. So you better get down there and start helping out. Like I feel like it's like their job, you know? So it makes me laugh. But they're like, yeah, they didn't really believe in this, but they had plenty to say today. And I'm like, yes, they do. Because they're no longer that person on the other side. We all have to keep this in mind. And I will say this on every live if I have to. The mom or the dad or the nephew, the niece, the daughter, the son that you knew that is no longer here is not just them on the other side. They're the part of the whole on the other side. That's just the piece of them that played the role of that person in your life. But when they go back to the other side, they have access to all their lives. They have access to all the information that they've had over the different lives that they've lived. So that's all comes together again. And they're also with you on the other side because you're mostly there. This is only a part of you playing a role of you in this lifetime. Please keep that in mind at all times. That's cool, Julie. That absolutely happened with us. Our dog passed, and I was sure she had a part in connecting us with our new girl. That reminds us so much of her. I love it. That's the common theme when I see around pets. Let's see. Okay, Vivi's asking a great question. If we keep coming back, are new souls being born? Question mark. Um, I got a better one for you. Why is it that our population since 1976 has doubled? Where are all the new souls coming from? Think about that. Think about it. I mean, maybe back in the 1600s, our population was what, 1/10 of what it is today, or 1/11th, maybe 1/12th of what it is today. But yet, right now, I can tell you that our population has doubled since the 70s. So where are all these new souls coming from, right? They've always existed. They've always been there. I don't think this is the only place we go. And that's one of the things that I've used as a reference when I talk to my guides, that there are other places. I am gonna eventually do another, live on here with a reference to fear. It was one of the lives I did, and it just did not record right. I was so pissed because I had this whole thing laid out to discuss fear and how to get over fear in this lifetime. And it involves the planets and the solar system and the galaxies and all that kind of stuff. And when they talk about it, I'm going to do another live on here. You guys are going to have to put up with me because I want to have it on record, but I will be doing it again on here. And I do believe there's other places. And I mean it, like real places, not like other dimensions, none of that stuff. I feel like there's other places we go. This is not the only place we go. So it's almost like there's room for more here now, so they can let more of those energies show up here. That's how it feels for me. Um, well, I Dexter said, "I like how you come back on the same day at the same time every week." Well, I haven't done that I haven't done that right in a couple of weeks, but I appreciate the compliment. Last week, I didn't go on at all on Sunday, so I ended up going live on Monday. And tonight I was about 15 minutes late, so I apologize. Uh, Good question so far. I appreciate you guys being here. And I'm gonna give it about another 10 minutes, and I'm gonna do a reading, okay? Good morning. I'm assuming you're in Australia somewhere or something, or England. Somebody just wrote good morning. Oh, Shursha? Oh, I am not getting that whole name out. It starts with an S. Uh, Hey, Craig, might be off topic. I recall you mentioning that you're practicing astral projection at one point. Have any fun and crazy stories, experiences you could share? Not, no, I wasn't practicing it. It was happening all on its own. It wasn't like I was like, okay, tonight I'm going to astral project. I just would like be doing it and then wake up the next day and go, oh crap, this happened last night. And I could just, the only thing I can tell you from doing it enough times, and I haven't done it in a really long time. I was much younger. It was much more common for me when I was younger. I can tell you that I know how it feels to fly. That I can tell you. I feel it. I really know how it feels to fly, like a bird. And yes, I would have to flap my wings. I don't know why, um, but I guess it's something about me having to work for everything I get. Nothing comes easy, so I couldn't just float around. I had to like literally flap my wings. I would gain altitude, and then I would coast, and then I would like go down around that way. And that's how I do it every time. I woke up exhausted. uh, Duletsky, if that's true, then why would the same soul reincarnate here? Why wouldn't we go other places? Okay, so we do go other places and we're not the same soul. We're a piece of the soul. So I want you to imagine on the other side a giant bubble. And inside that giant bubble are a whole bunch of little bubbles. That makes up the soul, the higher self. At some point, a little bubble pops out, comes down to earth, and plays the role of you in this lifetime. The rest of you is still on the other side, which means other bubbles can pop out of the hole and go in other places. So when you go back to the other side, it's not just you. It's not just you. It's all the other experiences and other lives that you've lived combined together. The all knowing knowledge, the all knowing on the other side. That's what I mean by that. Okay. Um, mm, mm, mm. No, Kelsey, I don't think our soul leaves our body every night. I don't. I don't think that would be smart. Beth, great question. Wait, how do you know this? That's a great question, Beth. The answer is based on all the readings I've done in the last 20 years. Nothing I'm telling you is like, oh, my opinion. It's based on stuff that's come through in readings. And I've been able to kind of put it together and feel like, all right, this makes the most sense. So that's where I get all my information from. And don't ask me what books I've read because I haven't read any. My guides told me a long time ago, read no books, read nothing about anybody else's work. It's like, okay. Now, does some of my philosophy align with others? Of course it does, because we're all doing the same work. Of course it's going to align. But there's a lot of things I don't believe in. There's a lot of things I don't buy or look at it a certain way. I'm not very dramatic on how I look at things. I'm very factual based, meaning like grounded, black and white. Just give me the facts. That's how I like to look at stuff. And if it makes sense for me, I'm going to say it. If it doesn't make sense, I'm going to be like, why are we thinking this as a whole? As a collective, humanity on this. Why are we looking at it this way? It does not make sense. I don't just take things because somebody tells me. I have to feel it, and it's got to make sense for me, energetically, spiritually, humanly. No, you can read books, Justin wants to know, should we not read books? No, you can absolutely read books. It's great to read books. It gives you like a basis. If you're just going to do the work, I feel like you should learn the work. Like learn through trial and error. That's the best way to learn the work, I think. I am more fortunate than most because I've always worked. It's great. I do a lot of readings. I really, really do. So I get a lot of um, opportunity to learn more about what I do and how things come through. So yes, Fran, we basically come back for lessons to learn. That's what we're really here for. But we're also supposed to enjoy our lives. So I know everybody says, you're here to learn lessons and then you go back to the other side. But this is a privilege to be here. It is a privilege. So I would say to you, while you're here, enjoy as much of it as you can because you are a human being. You are a human being. The difference between being human and being an energetic entity on the other side is that we have choice. That's the fun part. Like we have choice here. We could choose to do the right thing or we could choose to do the wrong thing. I want you to also know that when you choose the wrong thing, it doesn't mean the end of your life or doom and gloom. It just means you're taking the longer route. Okay. And one of the examples my guide showed me was if you're walking through a house and you want to get to the back door, you can go in through the front door, straight down the hallway and out the back door. That's learning the lesson as fast as possible. Or you can walk in the front door, go through the living room, then the kitchen, then the dining room, and then out the back door. You're going to get to the back door eventually. It's just, do you want to get there faster or do you want to like take the scenic route? Things take a little harder. Things take a little longer. And learning, it's hard. It's if you want to learn your lessons and you want to know what those are, I'm going to tell you it's always the thing that's hardest for you. When we're here to learn certain lessons, dig deep down and figure out what is it about me that I fear the most doing in this lifetime? What is it that I have difficulty doing? What is hard for me that might be easier for somebody else? That's usually where the lesson lies, somewhere in there. Mm. I like that, Just. Hard learner here, no teacher, like pain. Funny. Okay, let's do this. I want to read somebody now. Okay, I'm gonna read somebody now. Uh, you guys know how I work. I'm taking my glasses off for a second. And if you're new on here, welcome to my channel. I don't have the name on here. It's called, well, I do have it on the channel. It's called Building Connections. And I came up with the title because I'm a builder and I connect people with their loved ones. So you see how I did that? Hmm? So that's the name of this channel, Building Connections. And if you're on here for the first time, my name is Jonathan Lewis. I am a psychic medium and I like to connect people with their loved ones. That's what I do. People ask me about other things I do, and I say, well, I do this too, and I do that as well. But my main passion is mediumship. Um, it's what I do. So I'm going to be doing that tonight, hopefully. Okay. If you're on the live right now, I can't see what you're writing, so don't worry about it, but just keep writing it, just keep typing, whatever. You guys know the deal. When I do a private, I do not ask to connect with anybody. I just open up, and whoever shows up, we start validating that person. For purposes of social media, I will ask who you want to connect with. I have no problem doing direct readings. I'm a big fan of direct readings. I'm not a big fan of spiritual led readings. Okay. I never heard of spirit led readings until I got on TikTok. I was like, what is that? What the hell is a spirit led? I had no idea what it was. I didn't get on TikTok till I think 2022, I think I got on TikTok, or 23, I'm not sure. But people were talking about spirit led readings, and I didn't know what that was. So no, I do not do those here. I do direct readings. So whoever I pick, you're going to either write who you want to connect with, mom, dad, son, daughter, grandparents, whoever you want to connect with, pick somebody. That doesn't mean I'm going to get them, but I'm going to do my best to connect with that person. Stay very, very open. If you pick your grandmother and I get grandfather, just acknowledge it. Okay. That doesn't mean yes me to death. It means stay open to who's coming through for you. That person could pull in who you want to hear from. They might do it with a date, a name, something like that person did for a living. It could be something that shifts the energy and go, wait a minute, that's that person coming in. Like I said, I could have one person come in, I could have seven. It really depends on the flow of the information and where we're able to put it. Now, for those of you that don't type fast, I don't want you to be nervous. When I pick the person I'm reading, it's you and me now. That's it. I don't care what other people are writing. I don't care if they fall asleep. I don't care if they want to, they can do whatever they want. It's not about everybody else at that moment. It's about the person I'm reading. So stay calm, answer the questions, or I should say, answer the statements as best you can. Put the information where you feel it goes. And if it's a no, it's a no. Don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. So you shouldn't worry about it. If you feel you don't know what that is, I'm going to say, great, not an issue. Just promise me you'll write it down because every single reading I do, I have to listen to the, I thought you were nuts last time. Or, hey, can I just tell you something that came on the last one? I'm like, no, no, like, I don't want to hear anything. You can tell me at the end. But too many people didn't know where things went at the moment. And then it makes sense later. It might make sense right after we're done with the reading. It could make sense a week from now, but it's going to click. Okay. So just promise me you'll write it down or remember it. Okay. But the good part about this is it'll be on repeat. So you can actually watch it at any time. All right. We're going to pick somebody. Samuel. Pick somebody right off the bat. Samuel, 1977 wrote mom. So everybody else, if you could stop typing, that's the best part about this app. The audience does listen. Don't prove me wrong. So I'm right, Samuel. We got Samuel wrote mom. I have to write it down because I'm going to forget. What I need is Samuel. Samuel wrote okay. That's good enough. I usually need ask for somebody to write yes. Okay. Actually, Samuel, can you just write yes in capital letters? It's funny, like a force of habit. When you write yes, it's like something I use to signify that we're going to make a link, hopefully with mom. Okay, hold on. I don't think I have a mom energy, Samuel, but hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What do we got here? Mm, nope, I don't have a mom. Sorry, hold on. It's connected to you though. Uh, okay, let me start off this way. Samuel, where would be Samuel, where are the twins in the family? That's the first thing I want to bring up, Samuel. Tell me where the twins go. I don't know who's talking yet, but I will figure it out. But they want me to talk about the twins connected to you or the twins in the family. Where would that put us? And if everybody else could stop typing, that would be great because it's hard enough to do a reading in the comment section. Uh, but we're going to try to connect Samuel with mom. I don't have mom yet. You don't know any twins? Okay, so if it's not twins, I would take sign of twins. So if there's a Gemini connected to you living, I would take that as well. End of May, beginning of June birthday. So think May 22nd to June 21st, living connected to you. I'm only talking to Sammy or Samuel. Samuel. Think May 22nd to June 21st, Gemini, living. Not getting anything? Okay, not a problem. Hold on. Are you sure? They keep saying it. It's only for Samuel. I'm not switching. They're doing this symbol for me when they go like that, they like tighten up the grip. It's like I cannot move. So I can't jump around on this. I can't grab somebody else. I have to stick with Samuel. Um, there's a story around twins, something with twins. And Samuel, what would be the 12th of a month too? They're highlighting the 12th of a month having a meaning. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know who I have yet, but I need something to like link me. And they're showing me 12. So either there's a birthday or an anniversary connected to the family around the 12th of a month, or the number 12 has meaning for you. Take your time, no rush. We're not going anywhere. My sister who is lives a birthday in December. Okay. No, nope, that's not it. Something on 12, the 12th of a month, like September 12th, October 12th, November 12th, 12. The number 12 has the meaning. It's not December. And I'm seeing twins again. Something around twins. Okay, hold on, Sam. Where would be the mom energy past? I'm not saying it's your mom. It's a mom energy. So mother, grandmother, aunt. Issues around the head. Who had like the issues around head? Neurological. Definitely mom energy. Issue around neurological. So I don't know if it's stroke, aneurysm, blood clot, tumor in the head, or really bad Alzheimer's. But there's just showing me issue around the head. My mom had a stroke. Okay, so we might have your mom. Hold on. She just showed me issues around the head, and she's also telling me to talk about. And somebody, I hate to be, that's not graphic. I don't want to be graphic. Somebody bled out too. I know mom had the stroke, but if I have her, she's making me feel like she's got somebody that had internal bleeding as well. Not the stroke. It's separate. Somebody had like internal bleeding, like they bled out, almost like internal bleeding, like in the stomach or something where something opened up or burst. I haven't seen that symbol in a while, but she's using it very clearly for me. Like there's a feeling of like somebody having an issue where they had internal bleeding. And I'm not saying they passed from it. It's like a reference around it. Mom had a stroke. Yeah, I get that. But aside from mom's stroke, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wrote that twice. You didn't. Okay, so mom had the stroke. We validated that. She's telling me she's got somebody with that had like internal bleeding, like they're like something opened up. She was bleeding before she passed, then had another stroke. Okay, okay, hold on. Was okay, I could take that. She's telling me yes. Okay, so she had internal bleeding and then had a stroke. That makes sense. Okay, and she's telling me to bring up uh, stomach. Perfect. That's it. Well, not perfect. I'm sorry, but she's telling me that's it. Okay. And who's Kathy for you, Sam? Again, we're typing here, so think Kathy, Catherine. I could take Katie as well. It's like C or K with a T. Welcome. If you're on here for the first time or you're just getting in, I'm just doing a reading for Samuel, who's connecting with mom, who I think we have at the moment, but I just need a little bit more. She would be a grandmother figure. Okay. Okay. So mom's got the grandmother figure with her, like the Kathy or Catherine. And she's telling me to also talk about, and she's got a fisherman with her. And I don't normally do it this way, but she's letting me know she's got the guy that was considered the fisherman, like always fishing, older as well, like father, grandfather, uncle, past. I don't know if he's got the fishing, or like he had the boat, like the guy was always on the water, always wanting to fish, always be where's he's fishing, where is he? He's fishing. They show me fishermen with them past. This is where you tell me you live landlocked, you don't have any water around you, but that's what I'm feeling. Ricky, my brother's father. Okay. Don't say the name, just say my brother's father. And he's passed also, right? Because they're making me feel like they got that male with him. But I feel like everything's fishing. Everything's about fishing. Like what they do, what do you think he's doing? He's fishing. And they tell me to talk about is there a cop connected to that family too, Sam? Like if that's brother's father, which I'm assuming is not the same father as you, um, there's a cop connected to that family. And this would be coming from your mom if it's accurate. Again, we're doing this on typing. So think cop, police officer, security, somebody that works at a prison. They show me cop. Don't know? Okay, just remember. I thought I cleared this problem up with them, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so Sam, connected to the same family where brother's father is, that family, who was in prison? Who spent time in prison there or was arrested? If it's not a cop, then somebody was in prison. I see bars. Drawing a blank? Okay, just remember I'm saying it. I prefer to stick with the cop or police officer connected to brother or brother side of the family. Um, and is Rick connected to David, your brother? Who's David for him? David or Dan, like DA male. David or Dan connected to brother, which means it could be connected to you because he's your brother. But just show me David or Dan connected to brother. First name or middle name. I appreciate your patience on here. We are doing this on a chat, so it's a lot more difficult to kind of get a point across, or I'm trying to get as much in as I can so we can get the answer, um, to know we have the connection. But you don't know a David either. Okay, hold on. It's DA. It's David, Daniel, Danielle. They show me DA, but connected to Rick. Remember, I'm saying that too. Like connected to that either Rick or that side of the family, not your side, but his dad's side. And Sam, mom's telling me that mm, Francis, who's in Francis? Who'd be Francis for you? I could take Frank too, like Frank or Francis. Mom's bringing up like Frank or Francis connected to you, I got something else, but I have to wait. Okay, so I need the connection to Frank or Francis or Fred, FR. It's only for Samuel. Dut, 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 dut. She's giving my feeling like you know this. So think FR name, Frank, Francis, Fred, but connected to you. You're also connected with David. I hate to say that. I'm okay being wrong. I promise you. Um, but she's telling me you're connected with David. So I don't know if you work with a David or a Dan or, but she's putting it around either you or Rick. It's on that level. I'm only reading Samuel, so I only want Samuel to write, if that's okay. I work with a David. Okay, that's all it is. It's just a reference. Like she's insisting, like you know a David or a Dan connected to you. And I know it was on your level. We were talking about brother or brother's family. I just thought it went there, but it's okay as long as it's connected to you. Now, if you have the David at work, she's also showing me it's FR. Francis. Uh, and I want to back that up by saying there was something around you just recently that she's showing you about a knife, like either wanting a knife to be sharper or you were complaining it wasn't sharp enough. You know an older gentleman named Freddie. That's all I need. Just show me you have a connection around like David, Dan, like Frank or Francis connected to you as well. And she wants me to talk about the knife. It's like it's not a big moment. It's a moment of like feeling like you were cutting something and you're like, I need this sharper. This knife's not sharp enough. And that feels kind of current. So it's like a current event, like letting me know I was there for that or I saw it. But she's making feel like there was an issue around a knife recently about either how dull it was or it should have been sharper. I work in wanted a sharper box cutter. That's it. Okay. Oh, at work and wanted a sharper box cutter. That's all it is. She's making feel like she was there for that. Let it that's a kind of a current event to let you know she's around. And she's telling me to talk about a um do you know if anybody had an Akita? She's showing me like a shepherd husky type dog, but it's got the tail's curling up and around. So I might take husky or Akita, but she's referencing that dog. So and I feel like she's got the dog with her. So that means connected to you. Somebody had like it's not a shepherd, it's like a husky or an Akita or the big furry dog with the tail that curls up. It doesn't have to be yours. It's got to be connected to the family or around you. Know how to pug with a curl tail. I wish I could take that, but I cannot. A pug is very different to me than an Akita. Can't take it. And I want to validate the dog, so we're going to go another level. Who worked at post office? She's also referencing somebody around you worked for either post office or they worked with like delivery for a living. So if it's not postal, it would be delivery. Somebody driving for a living. My brother delivers mail. Perfect. Okay, so the mailman. Put the and could you not be with mom when she passed? I I don't know what this is. She's making me feel like you either couldn't be with her or somebody's having an issue with not being there. He couldn't. I was there. The brother-in-law? Oh, your brother couldn't. Okay. She's just showing me like again, it was on your level, same thing, feeling it was like they couldn't make it or they couldn't be there. And that's got to be an issue for them because mom's bringing it up. The only reason why they would bring it up is because it's an issue for them. They're supposed to let it go. And I'm supposed to talk about Jane too, Jane or Jen around that or around mom. Jane or Jen, JN female. Again, we're typing, so I would take Joanne, Jane, Jen, uh, Joan, JN female. Living, living. Nobody coming to mind. Nope, nope. You know this one. Sorry, can't let you off on that one. Hold on a second. Actually, she's making me feel like they're directly connected to you or were connected to you, but they're still here. Who is the Jen for you that you might not connect with anymore, but you had a connection with, like a Jennifer or Jan or Jen? Jennifer. Okay, who's that for you, Samuel? What was the connection to the Jennifer? Mom's friend. Okay, that's it. Is Jen still here? Is the Jennifer still living? Yes. Okay. That's mom's way of saying, I don't know if you still have contact with her, but she's telling me like, no, they know who this is. Like they're still living there. They have a connection with them, but it did feel like a past connection. Like you either don't talk to them anymore or you don't have a reason to, but the feeling is you definitely know them. So mom's letting me know that her way of saying hello to her friend. Okay. And one last thing she's showing me is there's something around you current about a skin discoloration or something around the skin that was bothering you recently. It's not like a skin tag or a or melanoma or anything like that. It's more about like you noticing a discoloration around skin. Like, what's going on here? Just got a tattoo on my back. That's it. Okay. I love it. All right. She's like, yeah, it's like discoloration around the skin. Like, and it didn't feel bad. That's why I was saying it's like it's not like a skin tag or a or anything like that. It feels like a discoloration. You're like admire. I guess you were admiring the skin discoloration, but she's acknowledging your tattoo. All right, cool. Just know that's her way of coming through to say hello. Okay. Thanks, Samuel. Anything that didn't make sense, just keep it written down or watch this again later. It'll pop up. A couple of things she got like in my face about. Like when they do this, like tell them again. I have to say it. It's almost like they won't let it go because they don't want to lose that moment. So I appreciate you cooperating on that. And I appreciate you guys being so patient. I know it's very hard on the comment section. It's very slow. And it is nerve-wracking for the person that's being read because they're like, they have to think and type at the same time. And then everybody else is going like, what, hurry up, on an energetic level. So I appreciate that. You're welcome, Samuel. All right, let's do a couple more questions. And then what I'm going to say again is I have a live Zoom group coming up at the end of April. It's April 30th. Before this live tonight, I only had 2 spots left. It's a 10-person Zoom group. There were only 2 spots left. It's in my Stand Store link in my bio. Go check it out. And I'll be putting up another one for May, probably on Monday or Tuesday. I should have done it already. I just didn't get a chance to do it before I went live, but it's there. It'll be coming. So, Mama Mando, you just said something that I truly talk about to everybody. She said, this chat is amazing when it comes to holding comments. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you why. On TikTok, they flood it. So when you have like, see, like I only have like 96 to 100 people on here, right? When I go on TikTok, I get up to 4, 5, 6, 700 people watching at any given time. The problem is it's not 700 people. It's actually 43,000 people. Because when I get the analytics after, it'll say like unique clicks or unique people, and it's like 43,000 people. But they just get on, they get off. They don't stay. It's like in and out. And when you're a medium and you're trying to like conduct business, when you're trying to like make connections or anything, all you're feeling is this on TikTok. This is what it feels like. People going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. They don't know what's happening. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They're like, what's going on here? And it disrupts the energy in a really big way. The cool part about TikTok is I can pull people up live. So I can actually not worry about that. It doesn't interfere. I take my glasses off and I just read. Here I have to actually read the comments. But when other people comment, it distracts the energy. And unfortunately, it's a me thing. I cannot distract from it. I cannot get away from it. So if I'm waiting to hear like a response to what I'm saying, and then somebody writes something else, it kind of throws the energy off. That's the only downside. Other than that, this is a constant crowd. This is a constant audience. You guys get on and you stay on. That's the cool part. So if there's 93 people on here, chances are there were 93 people at the night, for the night. But on TikTok, it's so fast. The average time span that people spend on, a live there is like 3 minutes. And if I'm on for an hour, that means every 3 minutes, people are rotating out. And when you have a number that's consistent, like 400, 400 people, that means that's that many people rotating in and out. So it's a lot of people going in and out. It's kind of hard, it's a little rough, but this is a lot better. This is a lot better energetically. But I want to get the word out too. I want to have more people on here. There's no, of course I do. It's my own channel. So I appreciate you guys being here. I'm starting to recognize some of the names when you guys come on, which is really cool. When I see people again, I'm like, hey, yeah, I used to do that. I used to do that as a joke. I would say like, not as a joke, but if somebody came on, I'd be like, hey, how are you? Good to see you. I don't know who you are. I just didn't. But now I actually recognize names, so it's kind of cool. Um, Guides by Peeves, very funny. Oh yeah, Guides by Peeves, you're the one. Okay, well we can't talk about that because I don't have it up anymore. So, uh, hey Ashley, again, if you're on here for the first time, subscribe to my channel. I've been wanting to say that for years, and I never really did anything on here. But now I get to say it like, hey, subscribe on my channel. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. No, you're good, Becca. Don't worry about it. Uh, I can't validate that Beyond Spirit wrote, "I heard we work in the afterlife, but at jobs we choose. Is this true, and have you heard from them about this?" No, I don't know if it's true or not. I have never heard anybody say they were working over there. So, you know, I see a pic, I have no idea. And I'll be honest, if I don't feel it, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not just gonna go like, "Well, yes, we have other jobs." But think about it. If this is not the only place we go, then part of their soul on the other side could be living another life somewhere else that has a job, right? So technically, your mom or dad that's passed could have another part of them living a life somewhere else that actually has a job. So technically they could. You guys have been awesome tonight. I really appreciate you being here. I just want to do a couple more questions and then, well, I hope we're going to go. Mama Mando. Well, I hope I work in a coffee shop and weed is legal. Crystal, what do you see? A room with shadows. No, Crystal, I don't see them. I'm not one of those mediums. I don't see spirits floating around or anything like that. My connection with them is strictly through here. Dexter, will you have any seminars? I won't have seminars, but I'm going to be doing live groups, guys. I am traveling on the East Coast in September. So I haven't done them in years. I used to do them all the time back 2012, 2013. I stopped doing them. I got used to doing the Zoom groups. My guys are making me feel like I'm a little lazy. So they want me to get back out there a little bit. So if you guys want to come out support, I would love to see you there. I have 4 up right now in my stand store. There's one in on Long Island in September 15th. Then there's one in New Jersey on September 16th. Then I go to Pennsylvania on September 16th, 17th, sorry. And then the 18th, I'm going to be in Baltimore, Maryland. So if you're anywhere near those areas, you want to come in, sit down for a 3-hour meeting. I'll be doing straight mediumship the whole time. And it's a limited group. So it's only 60 people maximum. Brandy, is it harder to do online versus in person? No, not at all. 99% of my readings are online. Or I should say they're on the phone. I don't even do video. I don't even do video when I read. I literally do phone. It's just the way I've been doing it for years, and I don't want to change it. I'll do video when I'm doing groups. I don't like doing one-on-one video, but it makes no difference. Energy is energy. It doesn't matter if the person's sitting in front of me or if I'm talking to them in, let's see, where was the furthest person I read? I would say Africa. I've read a few people in Africa over the phone. So to me, it doesn't make a difference. So, Ashley, how do you get it in your head? Through what? Okay. So, when we talk about the clairs, we have clairsentience, right? Which is feelings and emotions. It's still a download. They'll download the feeling. So everything I get comes this way. It comes up and down. Everything I get from them comes this way. It comes down into the body. So I always call it a download. It's a common term that mediums use. So they want to recognize that it's not your thought or feeling. It is them downloading the thought or feeling to you. So clairsentience is feelings and emotions. Clairvoyance is seeing, but I don't see them. I see my symbols and signs. I'll see names in my head. I'll see things that like scenarios. Even when it's clairsentience, I'll feel the scenario. They'll make me feel like I'm dropping into it when it's happening. So it's almost like being a third person watching something happen. Do I see figures in there? Do I see? It's almost like watching a movie. That's what it's like. But I'm not saying I have them. I know a lot of mediums will describe somebody very well. That's not my thing. I don't, I don't do that too often. If somebody's really super tall, they might show me that. Something that stands out around their looks, but I'm not gonna go like, "Oh, they have, like, sideburns and they have, like, they have, like, brown hair and they have, green eyes," and I to me, it's like, you know, I don't I don't do that. My venues are in hotels. Somebody just asked, "Are your venues close to motels in September?" They're all in hotels, so you could actually stay at the hotel if you wanted to. Hi, Beth. Uh, guys, yeah. Listen, I promised you guys. I talk about it on TikTok. Guided by my piece just wants to know, can you still get tickets? Absolutely. I have a ton of them. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you there's 5 left. I have a ton of them because I haven't promoted it. I only talk about it here. I have a, close to 8,000 person mailing list. So once I mail it out, that's a whole nother story, but, I haven't mailed it out yet. So I'm not doing that till the end of March. So anybody that wants to, go to a live event, just go check it out. I limited it to the seats, guide. I limited to the number of people, but there's plenty of seats. Beth, your pure honesty warms my heart. There's no point in saying to people, "You better get your seats," because it's like if you notice on my live events too, when I do my Zoom groups, I always put the number, and as people get seats, the number goes down. I don't see the point in not saying it. I'll tell people I have like, it's a 10-person Zoom group. It's in a week and I got 9 spots left. I don't have a problem saying that. If it's 9 spots, it's 9 spots. And whoever's in it is going to get read. That's all. It's not a reflection on me. It's just the way it is. And if you're taking it that way, then you shouldn't be doing this work because that would be your ego getting in the way. All right, cool. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I will be on again next Sunday night, hopefully at 9 o'clock on the dot. I appreciate. Sorry, I'm a little late, and I appreciate your energy tonight. That was really cool too, and the questions were great. And I'll see you guys again next week. Okay, I'll probably be on TikTok one night this week, but other than that, I'll see you either at the Zoom group live, or I'll see you on here. Okay, you guys have a great night. Take care.